What if I told you that going without sleep could kill you? Not food, not water, sleep. Most people think sleep is optional, something you can sacrifice to work harder, make more money, study longer, or binge one more episode of their favorite show. After all, what's the worst that could happen? A little tiredness, maybe some dark circles under your eyes? The reality is far more terrifying. Within just 24 hours without sleep, your brain begins malfunctioning. Within a few days, you can start hallucinating. And if sleep deprivation continues long enough, your body can literally begin shutting down. In fact, scientists have documented cases where people stayed awake for days and experienced effects so disturbing that they completely changed our understanding of the human brain. Tonight, we're exploring one of the most important biological functions on Earth. What really happens when you stop sleeping? From the first missed night to the extreme limits of human survival, this is the shocking science of sleep deprivation. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at sleep the same way again. Before we understand what happens when we stop sleeping, we first need to answer a simple question. Why do humans sleep at all? Think about it. Sleep seems incredibly inefficient. For roughly 1/3 of our lives, we're unconscious, we're vulnerable, we're unable to hunt, gather food, or defend ourselves. From an evolutionary perspective, sleep appears to be a terrible idea, yet every known animal sleeps in some form, from whales and elephants to birds and insects. This tells us something important. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's a biological necessity. Scientists now know that sleep performs several critical functions. First, it allows the brain to clean itself. Throughout the day, toxic waste products build up inside your brain. When you sleep, a specialized cleaning system known as the glymphatic system becomes highly active. Think of it like a nighttime cleaning crew. While you're asleep, this system flushes away harmful substances that accumulate during waking hours. Without this cleanup process, toxins begin building up. Second, sleep helps store memories. Every day, your brain processes thousands of pieces of information, names, faces, conversations, experiences. During sleep, your brain sorts through all of this information and decides what should be stored and what should be discarded. In many ways, sleep acts like a save button for your memories. Third, sleep regulates hormones. Your body releases important hormones while sleeping. These hormones influence hunger, growth, muscle recovery, mood, and immune function. Without sleep, this delicate balance quickly begins falling apart. And finally, sleep allows your body to repair itself. Muscles recover, cells regenerate, the immune system strengthens, damage is repaired. In short, sleep is when your body performs maintenance, and when maintenance stops, problems begin. Fast. Let's imagine you decide not to sleep tonight. Maybe you're studying, maybe you're working, maybe you're just scrolling endlessly on your phone. At first you feel okay, a little tired perhaps, but manageable. As the hours pass, your brain begins changing. After around 16 hours awake, your mental performance starts declining, reaction times slow, attention decreases, decision-making becomes worse. You may not notice it, but others might. Studies show that staying awake for 17 to 19 hours can impair performance similarly to having a blood alcohol concentration of 0.05%. In other words, being awake too long can make you function like someone who's been drinking. By the 24-hour mark, things become much worse. Your focus collapses. Memory weakens. Problem-solving becomes difficult. Your emotional control starts slipping. Small frustrations suddenly feel enormous. You become irritable, impulsive, unpredictable. Brain scans reveal that sleep deprivation significantly reduces activity in the prefrontal cortex. This area controls reasoning, judgment, and self-control. Meanwhile, the emotional centers of the brain become hyperactive. The result? You're more emotional and less rational, a dangerous combination, and that's only day one. After 2 days without sleep, your body enters a crisis. Fatigue becomes overwhelming. Concentration is nearly impossible. Many people begin experiencing microsleeps. Microsleeps are brief episodes where the brain essentially forces itself to sleep for a few seconds. The frightening part? You may not even realize it's happening. Imagine driving at highway speeds. Your eyes close for 3 seconds. At 100 kilometers per hour, you've traveled over 80 meters completely unconscious. This is why sleep deprivation contributes to thousands of accidents every year. But the brain's problems don't stop there. At 48 hours awake, memory becomes severely impaired. Learning new information becomes extremely difficult. Communication starts breaking down. Simple conversations require effort. Words become harder to find. Thoughts become disorganized. The immune system also begins suffering. Research shows that even short-term sleep deprivation reduces immune function. Your body becomes less capable of fighting infections. At this stage, stress hormones such as cortisol rise dramatically. Blood pressure increases, inflammation increases, the entire body is under strain, and the worst is yet to come. 2, 3 days, no sleep. This is where reality itself begins to break down. Many people begin hallucinating. You may see objects moving that aren't actually moving. Shadows appear alive. Sounds become distorted. Voices may seem real. Some individuals report seeing people who don't exist. Others become paranoid. The brain can no longer accurately distinguish reality from imagination. Researchers believe this happens because sleep deprivation disrupts communication between different brain regions. As the brain struggles to function, perception becomes unreliable. One famous example involved Randy Gardner. In 1964, as a teenager, he stayed awake for approximately 11 days as part of a science experiment. As the days progressed, he experienced severe cognitive impairment. His memory deteriorated, his speech became slurred, his mood fluctuated dramatically, and he began having significant difficulty performing simple tasks. Although he recovered after sleeping, the experiment demonstrated just how rapidly the brain can deteriorate without rest. At around 72 hours, many people describe feeling detached from reality, almost dreamlike. It's as if the boundaries between waking life and dreaming begin to blur, because, in a sense, they do. While the brain receives most of the attention, sleep deprivation affects every system in the body. Let's start with the heart. People who consistently sleep too little have higher risks of cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, high blood pressure, stroke. Sleep is essential for maintaining cardiovascular health. Next comes metabolism. When you don't sleep enough, hormones controlling hunger become disrupted. Levels of ghrelin increase. This hormone stimulates hunger. At the same time, levels of leptin decrease. Leptin normally tells you when you're full. The result, you feel hungrier. You crave unhealthy foods, especially sugar and processed carbohydrates. This is one reason chronic sleep deprivation is associated with weight gain and obesity. Then there's testosterone and growth hormone production. Both decrease significantly when sleep is restricted. Muscle recovery suffers, athletic performance declines, energy levels crash. Even skin health is affected. The body has less time to repair cellular damage. This can accelerate visible signs of aging. Sleep deprivation doesn't just make you feel older. In many ways, it actually makes your body age faster. This question sounds extreme, but it's important. Can a lack of sleep actually kill you? The answer is yes, although it's extremely rare. One of the most disturbing examples is a condition called fatal familial insomnia. Fatal familial insomnia. This rare genetic disease progressively destroys the brain's ability to sleep. At first, patients struggle with insomnia. Then sleep becomes nearly impossible. As the condition progresses, cognitive function declines, hallucinations appear, weight loss becomes severe. Eventually, the body begins failing. There is currently no cure. The disease is almost always fatal. Scientists have also observed lethal effects of total sleep deprivation in animal studies. Animals deprived of sleep eventually develop severe physiological dysfunction and die. In humans, reaching these extremes is rare because the brain usually forces sleep before complete deprivation can continue indefinitely. Still, the evidence is clear. Sleep is not optional, it is as essential as food and water. Today, millions of people are unintentionally participating in a global sleep deprivation experiment. Smartphones, streaming services, social media, late-night work, constant notifications. Modern life encourages us to stay awake longer than ever before. Many people proudly claim they only need 4 or 5 hours of sleep, but for most adults, that's simply not enough. The vast majority of healthy adults require 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, yet many consistently get less. The scary part? You often don't realize how impaired you've become. Studies show that people suffering from chronic sleep deprivation frequently underestimate the severity of their impairment. They believe they're functioning normally. But objective testing reveals significant declines in attention, memory, and reaction speed. It's like driving with a dirty windshield for so long that you forget what clear vision looks like. You adapt to feeling tired. But adaptation is not the same as optimal performance. Here's the good news. The human body is remarkably resilient. When sleep-deprived individuals finally sleep, recovery begins immediately. The brain starts repairing itself. Hormones begin normalizing, memory processing resumes, inflammation decreases, energy gradually returns. This is why a great night's sleep often feels transformative. You're not imagining it. Your body is actively repairing damage. However, chronic sleep deprivation can create long-term health consequences that aren't always reversed overnight. That's why consistent sleep matters more than occasional catch-up sleep. Think of sleep like investing. Small deposits every night create enormous benefits over time. Miss too many deposits, and eventually the cost becomes impossible to ignore. Tonight, while billions of people around the world sleep, something extraordinary will happen. Their brains will clean themselves, their memories will strengthen, their bodies will repair damage, their immune systems will prepare for tomorrow. Sleep may look like inactivity, but it's actually one of the most active and important processes in human biology. Without it, your mind begins unraveling, your body begins deteriorating, and reality itself can start slipping away. So the next time you're tempted to sacrifice sleep for one more hour of work, one more episode, or one more scroll through social media, remember this: sleep isn't time wasted, it's the foundation that makes everything else possible. And if you stop sleeping, your body will eventually remind you why it exists. The hard way. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to Future Elite and turn on notifications for more fascinating deep dives into science, psychology, wealth, success, and the mysteries of the human body. Because the more you understand how your mind works, the more powerful your future becomes. See you in the next video.